What's up, folks? Welcome to Math Walkthroughs with Mr. Weeb. Today we are subtracting integers by taking away, and this is our lesson 4 action task. Let's get right to it. First it says, choose a bunch of negative counters, take some away, write an equation to describe your subtraction expression. All right, here's a bunch of negative counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's stop there. Now we're going to take some away. Let's take away 3 of them. And now we write an equation to describe our subtraction expression. All right, so we had negative 5. Then we subtracted negative 3, and we ended up with 2 negatives. There we go. Now repeat part A twice, starting with a different number of negative counters each time. Okay, so let's start this time with 3, and we'll take away 1. And we end up with negative 2. So again, we start with 3 negatives, we took away 1 negative, and we ended up with 2 negatives. Okay, and let's do one more time. Let's start this time with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's take, let's say, 3 away, and we end up with 4 negatives. So again, we start with 7 negatives, we take 3 of those negatives away, and we end up with 4 negatives. Number 2 says, choose an integer between negative 8 and 8. I'm going to just randomly choose, let's say, negative 6. Represent your integer, perhaps adding some 0 pairs, so that if you take away some counters, you are left with exactly 10 counters of one color. Write an equation for your subtraction situation. All right, so I have to represent my integer with at least 6 negative counters. And now we want to add some 0 pairs so that when we take away, we're left with 10 counters of one color. Okay, so we've got 6 counters so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more make 10. But again, I want to represent only negative 6, right? This is like saying negative 6 plus 0. All of this is 0. All of that is 0. So negative 6 plus 0, we still have negative 6. Now, when I take away 4, I'll be left with negative 10. So the equation here is going to be negative 6 take away 4 will give us negative 10. We can see that here. We start with negative 6, we take away these 4, and what are we left with? We're left with 10 negatives. 6 negatives here, 4 negatives here, that's 10 negatives total. All right, let's do it again. Repeat part A twice, choosing a different integer each time. All right, we can do that. Let's go with, well, it has to be between negative 8 and 8. Let's go with a positive integer this time. Let's go with 2. Okay, so to start with, we're going to have 2 positive integers. And we have to add some 0 pairs so that when we take some away, we'll have exactly 10. I'm going to add 8 0 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So essentially I've got 2 plus 0, which is still 2. But now I can take away all of these so that I'm left with 10 positives, right? I'm left with 10 counters, right? 10 counters of one color. And here is here's the equation for this. We start with 2. We subtract how many negatives? 8. And we're left with 10 positives. Let's do it again this time. Let's do negative 2. Why not? Okay, if we have negative 2, it looks like this. And I want to add 8 0 pairs so that when I subtract a bunch, I will still have 10 of one color. I think that's the right number. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still have negative 2 here because it's negative 2 plus 0. Now I can take away all of these and be left with 10 negatives. So here we have this equation, negative 2 subtract 8 equals negative 10. Next it says, why would the result of 4 minus negative 5 be the same as the result of 4 plus 5 minus 0? Why might that be useful to know? To answer this, I might say something like this. If you start with 4 positive counters and 5 extra 0 pairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that you can do this, right? 4 take away negative 5. In order to do that, I have to have at least 5 negatives. So again, if you start with 4 positive counters like we did here, and 5 extra 0 pairs, when you remove the negative counters like so, then you have essentially 4 plus 5 minus nothing, and you get 9. Why might that be useful to know? This is useful to know because I know the answer to 4 and 5 is 9. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.